So tell me what happened in your experience.
So my experience is that I've had, I guess, quite an unusual birth, because not only did I have a home birth, but I had a home birth with a history of 2 emergency C-sections.
Okay. Wow.
Which, yeah, I guess, you know, would horrify the medical profession, and I would totally be advised not to do that.
Yeah, so, yeah. For some might give that advice, but some would wholeheartedly be behind you. I think that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much disparity in the information that you get and the advice.
Yeah, I think that. I think for me, I think it tends to be that what I said really, that you won't get advised to do it. And
okay.
For me, I wish it was just a case of they present all the options, they give you all the evidence, they tell you that home birth is an option, whether or not they recommend it, and then they let you make your own decision, because I feel that's really what is lacking. And sometimes also the information you get is it's not accurate, and it's not as per the evidence, and it is a little bit misleading as well. So it does kind of hamper you in making that informed decision, which I think is important.
So why did you want a natural birth in the first place?
Okay, so I think I was really unhappy after the first 2 births and how they went. I felt that, I think the second time round, it was a case of, you know, I felt like my instincts would tell me that what was being told was wrong, but I didn't really do any research or have anything to kind of to challenge it, so I just accepted it really without question, which I think is probably what the majority of people do when they're told something by a doctor.
So you didn't prepare for the first 2?
Didn't prepare, no. I did antenatal classes, but in all honesty I don't think they really did prepare me for birth, or for kind of for challenging anything, or for asking questions. So no, really. The answer is no, I didn't really prepare at all for the first 2 births.
So what was the difference when you what prompted you to kind of start preparing? How did you even know that you could prepare for birth?
In all honesty, I think I'd heard of hypnobirthing, and I think I looked it up and I watched some videos, and then I just saw that people were saying, oh, pain-free birth, and I thought, yeah, I'll go for that. So then I looked into it, and maybe I wasn't 100% convinced that would be the case, but I just thought it seemed like a good thing to try, so that's how I got into it in the first place.
So some women do experience pain-free birth, but not every woman experiences pain-free birth, and it can still be a hypnobirth. So how did it feel when you gave birth?
So for me, I would say, because everything happened so quickly, it really took me by surprise. So comparing the sensations I felt in this birth and this labour were totally different to what I'd experienced in labour before. So they were actually so not really uncomfortable at all for the majority of it, that I didn't know if I was actually in labour. That's why everything kind of unfolded as it did, and I didn't ring people in time. I should have rang people in a bit earlier probably, but I just really didn't think. I actually thought I was in early labour and went to go and lie down, and that's when my waters went, and then I think it was another 2 hours and he was actually born after that. So definitely the hypnobirthing definitely worked, I would say.
Okay, so tell us what happened when
Amari.
Who?
Amari.
So tell us what happened when Amari was born.
So I'd been out all day in the morning, even though I was having kind of what I thought was contractions. I wasn't even sure if it was, or it was just Braxton Hicks.
Oh yes, because you rang me from out.
Yeah. I went out all morning, and I went out for lunch as well. So I got home about 1:30, I think, and that was when kind of I packed my 15-year-old son off and just kind of did a couple of things. And I could feel things were moving on a little bit, but I didn't think it was still, I thought I'd still be in early labour compared to how it felt, compared to how it felt previously. And when I'd been told I was, I wasn't even dilating or whatever, that is how it compared for me. So I thought, my husband said, go and get some rest, you've been walking around all day. So I went to lie down on my bed and my waters just broke. So then I thought, right, okay, I bet it's definitely happening. Yeah, exactly. So then I thought, I'll call everybody like you and the midwives to come at that point. But then I think after my waters had broken, it kind of went up a gear a little bit. It became more intense at that point, but it was still felt it was okay, and I could manage it. And I think really that's how it went throughout. But
so what were you doing to manage the sensations that you were feeling?
So I was doing all the visualizations that I practiced, but I think some of it just kind of happened automatically, because I think, you know, how you've practiced it so much. Yeah, and just concentrating on stuff that I'd learned about kind of oxytocin, you produce more on your out breath, so I was trying to make my out breath longer to try and like kind of activate all your own natural painkillers and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really all I did. I think I kind of panicked a little bit when I realised things were much further on than I thought, because I'd not called the midwife in enough time. I knew she was quite far away. So that kind of, I think that threw me off a little bit, but then I think when everyone was there, particularly when you arrived, because my husband told me afterwards, he said if you hadn't have got there in the next 10 minutes, he would have phoned 999.
Oh,
yeah, he thought he was going to be catching the baby himself. So yeah, I think that was it really for me, and I was glad to get in the pool and deliver in the pool, and it all just happened like so. It was just so amazing, really. I just still can't believe it did happen, and so fast as well, whereas I'd been told previously by, you know, midwives and doctors that because I'd never delivered naturally before, it would be really, really slow, like the first time round. And it just, it was so quick, yeah, which really took me by surprise as well. Yeah.
So, so the first 2 cesareans you always felt were unnecessary, right? So why did you feel they were necessary?
So I think with my first son, so I was 19, I didn't really care about what happened with the birth. I just wanted to go in there, not experience any pain, and then just get out of there kind of thing. So I had an epidural as soon as I could have it.
Okay.
Didn't really need it, and then I think
so that's what you wanted. Did you ask for it?
I did ask for it, yeah, but I don't think I really needed it, if you know what I mean. So I had it before just in case it got too late, and then it was too late to have it, and then I wanted it.
Right.
It's a bit of a control freak, really.
Okay. So did you know what the implications of the epidural were?
No, really. I didn't know that it would slow things down, and I think they still don't necessarily accept that now, but I think it definitely does, and it did for me, because after that my progress didn't continue, and I was sat up on a bed as well. I wasn't allowed to be mobile. Okay. So that was that one. It just, they class it as failure to progress, and then they just do your C-section.
So I suppose at that point they're observing you, and you're being monitored, so you can't, you know, you can't move around.
Can't move around, and yeah, I think the epidural even itself, even if you moved around, potentially does slow stuff down. So that was that one. The other one, they decided that they wanted to break my waters. I think they thought it was about 6 centimetres, but again, because I'd had the previous C-section, they were monitoring me, and it had to be that I was sat in the bed with a monitor on me all the time, because they were worried about, you know, increased risk of uterine rupture and all the rest of it. So didn't know that I could have said, you know what, actually I'll hold it on me and walk round. I didn't realise any of that at the time, so I just went along with what I was told to do. And then they decided, and I don't really think for any good reason, they wanted to break my waters. Once they did that, I think his head crashed down, and that causes some heart decelerations. They obviously suspected uterine rupture, and they just rushed me in, GA, and that was it. But it was pretty traumatic because they panicked. The midwife pulled the TENS machine off and electrocuted herself without turning it off. Yeah, then they wheeled me in, they crashed me into things like about 4 or 5 times, and then as I was being put to sleep, they were asking me questions about what my weight was pre-pregnancy and like now, and you know, so they could give me the right amount of drugs and stuff. So it was just absolutely crazy. And when I reviewed it with the supervisor of midwives, this pregnancy, she actually did say, you know, yeah, they could have tried putting you in a different position or something like that to see if it came back up. And she looked in the notes and said, actually, it had come back up before he was delivered. And his APGAR score was 9 anyway on delivery. So it was, they accepted it, everything was fine. It was a false alarm. And I would say that's one of the, like, proves what they say about the continuous monitoring, that it doesn't improve outcomes, but it does increase intervention rates, because there's so many false positives with it. I think I'm an example of that, definitely. Yeah,
you're right. They have proved that it doesn't do any good. It doesn't improve outcomes, and so many women are lying on beds and being continuously monitored, and actually it isn't helping. It's just hampering their ability to move around. So you did loads of practice this time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What did you do?
So I listened to all the tracks, like every night, all the hypnobirthing, relaxations, I did all that. When I was doing exercise as well, I used to practice the visualizations then, because I used to think it'll be easy to do it, you know, when you're all relaxed and everything, but if you're under a bit of stress, you know, to try and really make sure you're doing it properly and see if you can do it then. And I thought as well, like for me, just putting my body under a bit of stress like it would be in labour, so my body could like tolerate it, and also the baby as well. So I was thinking,
so what did you do to put your body under stress?
Just exercise. So I would just do swimming and do as many lengths as I could that tired me out. So yeah, with my belly and stuff, without a float.
So you did loads of swimming, didn't you? Which is really good because you're swimming on your front.
Yeah.
So it really helps the baby get in a good position.
Yeah, that was the other thing as well. And also being in the water as well. I was thinking, because I was planning to deliver in water as well. That was good as well. I used to think about that near the end, like how it would be. Yeah. So that was good. But I think everything you do, and I really do just think now it is just a mindset, definitely. You either get into that mindset or you don't, kind of thing. And
it really, really helps. Yeah, it really, really helps. I think the practice, the mental preparation, the physical preparation, and you really kind of owned your birth, didn't you, this time?
Yeah,
it felt to me.
Yeah,
so you know, you looked up, you researched everything. You know, you kind of knew where to go because you did the full course. You knew where to go. To find that research, and you just made your own decisions on things, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. And having that support in place as well, so like having you there and knowing that, you know, if I can't advocate for myself, then I had you there to do that, and also because you'd been with me through the course to help me, remind me of all the stuff that I'd learned. I think that really helped as well. Yeah, just everything really. Everything just came together, and I think with me, because of my history as well and everything, I really, really wanted to do it, and I really wanted it to work, and I did believe it would work as well. So, and I also think that did help, because I kind of did start to believe that I could do it near the end, because for a while I was kind of wavering and asking all the kind of questions like, oh, am I going to be able to do it? How will I cope on the day? But yeah, I think because I really wanted it, it just kind of worked.
You put so much practice in, and I know coming into it, like I as like your hypnobirthing teacher was just like you know, there were lots of women that deserve this, but you know, no one deserves it more than you. They might deserve it equally as much, but like you just put so much practice, and it was amazing, and it was an absolute pleasure to be part of it. So thank you.
Much.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.